So this is a stealing back seat kit on this club car Precedent. This is a very economical rear seat. There's nothing wrong with economical. If you're looking for a cheap and inexpensive rear seat, I'll place a link to this seat in the description below. There's a couple of things I don't like about this seat right here. Number one, I don't like the use of all of the stock plastics behind the front backrest and the back backrest. I don't like that. So another thing I don't like about this seat kit here is the bottom rest of the back seat. It almost looks like it's hanging off the back of a golf cart. What I would like is one's a little bit closer towards the front seat, and it'll give you a little bit better leg room as well. So with that being said, for this video, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this seat. I'm not gonna show what it's like to remove this seat and start like the golf cart is completely stock without a back seat. Let's get started. Generally in the stock golf cart form, which this one is not at the time, there will be a plastic netting here. It may be on yours. This one is already removed here. Now in order to remove the plastic netting, it's going to take a T30 Torx head bit. I'm putting it on an impact. Now in the back of the basket here, we have two long screws, one on the right side, one on the left side just off camera. I'm taking an 8mm socket on my nut driver. That's one. Next we need to remove this bolt here. On the back side is a nut. Same as on this side, here's a nut and the bolt here. The bolt is going to take a T30 Torx bit, and the nuts is going to take either a 1/2 inch or 13mm wrench to hold the nuts while you release the screws. Now what I have here is a broom handle without the broom attachment. We're going to take the smooth side and go against the golf cart. We're going to lift the roof up and put the screw side towards the top. Once we have the top placed with the broom handle, we can now pull up these extension arms. Now in order to remove the back seat rest, it takes a 10mm socket. One on the left and one on the right. Once we have the bolts removed from the back of the backrest of the seat, we need to take the seat, go up and away with it. Now in order to remove this plastic piece here, there's going to be 4 10mm bolts. 2 is in the back. We're going to have 2 in the front, 1 here, and on the other side there. Let's go ahead and remove those. We can now remove this piece here. There's going to be 2 more bolts that we're going to need to remove. That's going to be under 2 of the skeleton stands, which holds this right here in place. Now to remove these 2 skeleton brackets, we're going to take a 10mm socket, and I'm going to use my impact. Once you remove the bolt, it comes right up. You can disregard these. Now what we have here is the GTW Mach 3. This fits the club car Precedent, the Tempo, and the Onward for part number 01-186. Now we have our instructions. We have our side rails here. We have our back seat support. This is for our flip seat here. This is the seat bottom for the golf cart itself. It already comes attached to the flip out portion. The golf cart bag well support brackets. This is going to be the roof bracket so you can remount your factory roof. This is your footrest. This is made of a plastic on the very top. It has an aluminum shell that goes around it. Seat footrest brackets. We have 2 of the backrest support brackets. And we have a bag of hardware. Now once you open your hardware bag, it's going to be individually wrapped bags numbered 1 through 6. If you're doing this for the first time and you prefer to read instructions versus watch a video, The instructions included with the GTW rear flip seat kit is very thorough and colorful. They supply a lot of pictures with each step along the way. I would say this is a great addition to the seat. So the first step is to mount these back well brackets that gives the seat support. So now we have your bag well bracket. You have your 80mm long bolt. We have a washer going through the bag well bracket. And we have this top hat turned upside down. This acts as a standoff to go against the ridges here in the bottom of the bag well bracket. I'm going to put that on just like that. Now once we attach the nylon locking nut, I'm going to use a regular washer and a fender washer in place. Next thing we're going to do is attach the seat frame to the two rear holes from the basket bracket mounts using hardware retained from the removal process. Next thing we need to do is attach these bag well brackets to the seat frame here. We're going to go from the outside of them. We're going to use some bolts and nuts from pack 2. So we're going to take a bolt, a washer, slide it in from the front. Next step, we're going to attach the footrest to the bag well brackets using 2 of the bolts supplied in pack 2 as well. Next step, we're going to place the seat back support bar in rear of seat frame as shown. Then we're going to attach the armrest to the front of the seat frame using the 10 by 45mm countersunk bolts from pack 3. Using the 10 by 70mm bolts and rubber spacers from pack 3, attach the armrest to the rear of the seat frame and seat back support bar. Now before we attach the footrest to the side brackets, we're going to need to install the support brackets, which is a triangle shape here. Now you'll know where these brackets go. The flat bar off of the back side here supports the footrest. So in this case, we're going to put it along the lines right here. Now once we have the bolt and washer going through the side bracket, going through the support bracket into the footrest, we're going to put on our washer and nylon locking nut. Repeat the process on the other side as well. Once you have everything installed for the back seat, for the brackets and the backrest, it should look like this. Step, we need to install these uprights for the roof. We're going to use the bolts and hardware from pack 4. There's going to be 2 separate lengths of bolts here. You're going to have a lot longer length and a lot shorter length. The longer length bolt is going to go to the top of the frame here in this section here and in that section there. The 45mm long length is going to go here and is going to go here. Now there's going to be 6 bolts total, 4 of the shorter ones, 2 of the longer ones. So this is going to be the upright strut. Notice the holes in the very top. We're going to have to reuse some of the hardware from removing the factory stuff. Also, the slant of this right here bracket is going to go towards the back of the cart. Now when you're mounting the top support bracket, do not put it inside of the seat frame there. We're going to put it on the outside and through that factory opening there. Once you get the uprights installed, it's pretty simple. That's what it looks like. Next, we need to prepare the back seat and the brackets itself. These brackets will also hold the original front seat of the golf cart. And if you notice, one says driver's side. Now these brackets here have a hook. This hook holds the original seats onto the golf cart. We're going to attach them with everything in the hardware from pack 5. And once we have the brackets mounted to the back seat, we'll go ahead and place those on the backrest bracket here. And we're going to finish using the hardware from pack 4. Once the seat back's mounted, it'll look like this right here. Notice it says driver's side on the driver's side portion of the golf cart. The next step, we need to put the front back seat on. We're gonna slide the seat itself on this right here part, which has a hole in it, over this right here hook. By doing so, once we do that, we'll go ahead and use the same hardware we used to remove the seat width in the very beginning of the video and put it into the mount here. Now this right here is the hook on the seat bracket. Once I put the seat on it, I had to push the seat down in order to get that bolt right there started. I had to do that on both the driver and the passenger side as well. Next thing we need to do is go ahead and remove the stick that's holding the top up and lower the top into place. Now we're going to use the factory bolts and hardware that we removed the top with in the beginning to reattach them to the roof. Both of the uprights are now installed into the roof. Alright, so if you made it this far, the next step after we install the uprights for the roof, you need to go ahead and tighten all the hardware on the back seat. With that being said, everything is a 17mm and a 10mm for the seats itself. You also need like a #1 Phillips bit here and here, and that's the only other tool that you'll need to tighten everything up. Go ahead and get everything tightened, and let's move on to the next step. Alright, this is the last step. We need to attach the seat, the HD rail. Now as you notice on the seat here, it already has predetermined holes. One here, 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 and here. There's 4 across the top. There's going to be 4 across the bottom. Now on this HD bracket, we have 4 smaller holes. Those are going to go against the bottom of the seat, like so. Now on the seat itself, you don't have to drill any holes. It has pre-sunk female threaded inserts into the bottom of the seat. We're going to be using everything out of bag 6 to accomplish this with. Now when you install the seat itself onto the HD bracket and the seat bottom, we want to make sure the thickest part of the seat is towards the rear of the vehicle. And as you look at the side of the seat, we notice this right here is a much shorter side than this, which is a little bit larger. And once you're done attaching the seat to the frame itself, there are some caps here. These caps are included to cover the bolt holes. Also, as you can tell, there's some brackets here and in the middle there and the other side. That's for a seat belt kit, so you're going to put seat belts on the back of this kit as well. They also have this flip out location here. GTW sells a cooler that you can actually put in here, carry some cold drinks while you're on the golf course or just cruising the hood. Other than that, guys, this install is pretty much complete.